Last week, I showed a video of me taking the work that I had done in the field and transferring it to my larger journal. And but I only could do so much in one video. So this is technically part 2. So for those of you who have been longing for longer videos, or at least videos that have more content of a tutorial of how I do my process, of how I do my work, this is that video. Last week and this week's video kind of shows you my process. And I think that this video is really going to be really highlighting, especially more of my draftsman style, how I work in the field. It kind of shows how I utilize my drawing skills, my reference, what I'm actually looking at, and not from my imagination like I did more last week, going off of the sketches that were in this sketchbook and then transferring it to the larger book. So if you're in for that kind of a video today, you might want to get yourself a cup of tea or something relaxing, and I'm going to share with you that process today. But don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, comment, or at least leave me an emoji, especially if you make it to the very end, and let me know how you like this video. I'm really interested what you think about the process, or if you think it's going to be at all handy for you, if you've gleaned anything from it. So I hope you enjoy. I decided to get my Neo colors out to give it a test for just this pass. It might end up being a hot mess, but we're just here to play today. That's what I'm doing. This time I was using my photograph, still trying to be inspired by my loose notebook. So I decided, well, I've got my watercolor pencils out, my Faber-Castell watercolor pencils out, and then I got the Caran d'Ache out just to play. Still gonna keep it loose, and even though my reference photo doesn't have any of this pink in there like I got at the end of my session in the woods, I'm gonna pop a little bit in there. Maybe a little bit of this, what is this, salmon, and the rose. That's what I'm kind of playing with a little bit. This is just all sketchbook play here. This is where you test and you play, and but I did, obviously use my reference photo to get a little bit more of the details. Let's see. But what I want to capture is some of these pops of the high key greens that are being hit by the sun. Here and on this tree over here. There's a little bit on the trees back here. A little bit. And I'm sure you're like, what is she doing? Yeah, it's, hey, we're just trying stuff out. Trying to loosen up the tightness. This is, I really think that this fieldwork stuff is like the best way to do it because it forces you to. And so just trying to, at this point, just trying to be inspired by, you know, some of those experiences out there. Just a little bit of this ochre. What is this called actually? Specifically, it's just called ochre. And even technically some of these trunks are being hit by some of those lights as the sun is setting, and it's going from daytime into the shadows of the evening, of the dusk. And let's see this color back here, because it is wintertime. There is still like there's a mixture of purples and greens and grays, and because there's a lot of dead stuff back there. So I am going to use a little bit of my purple and gray. I think we're just gonna try, see how this works out. And this is periwinkle blue. So there's a little bit of it, not a lot, it's not everywhere. There are still touches of green back in here. These grasses are technically in the shadows, and they're a cool green. There's still some of that dead stuff out there, but I just want to pop in this general color. I can see that, like, in my reference photo itself, and I know you probably can't see it at all, but there is polygons of color where certain plants are growing. They're just kind of a bit undefined in a way. And there's some things that are in front of it that are dead, and some things scattered amidst it that are dead. Let me see here. See what I get from this. Now that I'm gonna spread a bit of it around with the watercolor. Okay. Right now this looks way too much because it still needs to be pushed back some. I think I'm going to play with a little bit of my watercolor too. My watercolor pencil. I'm really not sure. I mean, they're gonna get along fine, but see if I can kind of dull that out, cool it even further by using some of that. It helped a bit. It's still the hue's too bright. But it's definitely in that blue-green range, which was the emerald green. And let's see. I'm gonna use a little bit of this. What is this? Umber. We're trying to make some of these colors look like they're in the shadows, which is a mixture of like grays and green and violets and all sorts of things. Let's see here. And if I was using oils, I would pre-mix this to be more right on par, but I think when you're layering, you're guessing more, you know, you're just guessing as you go. I don't really like this green that much. Greens are such a touchy thing. That's why I always need sap green on my palette when I'm doing watercolors, because in nature it's really hard to get it right, and I don't like spending time on trying to get it right, where, you know, at home I could pre-mix things up, but I do not like wasting my time when I'm out and about. I mean, it's slightly better. It's still not quite on par where I want it, but it's fine. I've got limitations with the media that I chose to do, and this is the problem. It's like when you're picky about it, you just don't know what you're gonna get. This actually might work pretty good. This the umber. It's kind of in the green range. Doesn't look like a brown umber. I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely in the like green range. It's kind of a cool green, but not in the mint range. I'm not quite too sure. Can't stop and think about it right this second either. This is the thing about this kind of work. It's like when you're painting, it's actually very hard for me, and if I was doing really detailed work right now, I couldn't talk to you at all. I couldn't. My brain would be too busy problem solving, and right now I've given myself the right to be more sloppy and take more free reign of things. So what I do like about this one compared to the one that I was doing is that I feel like this kiss of ochre right here is more on par with what really I was getting in the field. So that I like. I'm going to I'm putting my brush in my mouth in a really professional manner here. It's like the horizon kind of moves off into the distance over here. I want to use something kind of solid, so I'm going to use this, I'm going to use a light fast pencil, but I want maybe this one. So I want something that's not really going to move too much on me. It still could take something like gouache on top of it though, because it's not waxy. And it's too dark for me to worry about too much texture on this tree. See, I'm working on the details of these branches right now, and I'm getting quiet because I kind of want these branches to be a little bit more, they're not right on the mark, but I want them to look better. And this tree is technically not dead yet. It's just struggling. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it, at least for this little test page in the rough. It's very sketchy and rough, but I kind of like the colors that I've gotten out of this page, especially compared to this page. This is more what I like. It's a balance between something that looks real and something that looks loose and impressionistic. And that's what it looks like up close. I think it kind of looks better here. It still has that sketchy draftsmanship that I initially started with the pencils and looking at my reference photo. And so I'm pretty happy with it all in all. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite out of these two? This one looks more like illustrated or something. But this is the one that we just went off of, just straight out of the original sketchbook. So it's kind of interesting to see the variations there. These three guys, I think. This one's probably my favorite, but I do love this one still. The draftsmanship's better versus I think I wasn't paying as much attention to this tree as much as I wanted to for this first try. So it was interesting to see going back into it again for a second round. But right now, those two are my favorites. You can see there's a variation of the trees because this was me just looking at the architecture of the tree right there in front of me, trying to compensate for the perspective because I was really closer to the tree, and yet I was still trying to get everything in. And of course, there's the size of the paper, so I didn't even get any of this top stuff up here. And to be honest with you, actually some of this, let's see, this, let me see here, there actually is a little bit of greenery and hanging off this tree. I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up if I fudge around with it too much. Let's see. It does have a bit of some greenery, but that is not on par with what I want. It's kind of dark. Anyways. But I'm gonna leave it there. Kind of indicated it, and there's a lot of things I like about this, so I think I'm calling it good. But part of me, I keep wanting like touching it. Part of me is like, I want to do something else. I want to push this pink down into here a little bit. Okay, good enough. It's a little yellow right there, but I gotta be careful. Okay, that's it. I'm not touching it anymore. And I guess that'll be it. That's as far as I'm gonna take it for now, this week. So a lot of variations to go through. But all in all, I'm pretty happy. I feel like I learned some lessons here. I feel like the start of a learning going on here. But yeah. All right, let's close the books on that one and we'll call it good. So just popping on here really quick again to end this video right here, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. I hope you gleaned something good, something interesting, or something that you can utilize for yourself, or at least maybe you were encouraged to go and work in your own sketchbooks and do some art today. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed creative week ahead, and I'll see you next week. Bye.